Hey everyone, Zara here from Not Casuals, and today I'm bringing you a special video where I'm going to be showcasing these amazing infographics that I found on Reddit about the different Abyss floors, as well as all the artifact domains and all the weapon and talent books Ascension domains. So basically showcasing you what the monsters that you will encounter in those, as well as some strategy recommendation, such as which kind of elements you should bring and which kind of special effects you should avoid in certain domains. Now, as I said, I found all of these on Reddit by a user called Ryden. He has given me permission to share them with you on this video, and I will include every single one of these Reddit posts that he's made in the description of this video, as well as his Twitter and Reddit profile if you'd like to follow him to keep up to date with new ones that he might make in the future, as these are truly amazing. I will also be putting them on our Discord server in the resource section, where we have a lot of these types of infographics made by us or other people, where we share them with our community. So if you'd like to have the images and save them as well, you can go and check it out. The Discord is also in the description. So in this video, I will simply be going over most of them quickly to tell you what they are about and the strategy behind them and how to read them, and then I will be showing them to you one by one quickly, just so that you can take a screenshot of it or pause the video there if you'd like to have the information in the future. So there is three different kind of infographics. So as I said, there's the Abyss, and then there's going to be the talent materials as well as weapon materials, and lastly all the artifact domains. So I'm going to go over them all quickly right now. So the Abyss only includes floor 9 to 12 because they are arguably the only real hard floors when you're high level with like good level characters, and they are the ones who require kind of the most intricate kind of team comps. So you will see here that we have Abyss floor 9 to start. Now Abyss floor 9 has a lot of monsters, and if you read here, the recommendation is what you should bring here in the first chamber and what you should bring here in the second chamber. Now, these are recommendations, but most of the time you kind of have to. For example, the reason why ice is recommended here is because in the second chamber, you see there is an electro-fachui guy, which you cannot break his shield without ice. And the fire is for the cryo guy here, the cryo-fachui, who cannot have this shield broken either without fire. So these are kind of things that you must bring when you're making your team comp here. Now, the reason that Anemo is here is mostly because in this floor you have a lot of monsters. So if you have an Anemo like Venti or Sucrose, they can basically suck in all the monsters at once and create a lot of CC and AoE potential for your team. So of course, by looking at this, you can pretty much kind of make an idea of what you have to bring and what to do, because in-game, this is not something that's available. It tells you the monster types, but not how many of them there are. So this is a quick, nice way of having that information on hand. Also, one thing to remember about this floor is, remember that you need an archer to break the eyes of these characters, the rune guards. Otherwise, it will be quite hard to bring them down quickly. Next, we have Chamber 10 of the Abyss. Now again, I'm going to go over every single one of them, but you obviously understand that you need water here in both of them, and you need an Anemo in this one if you want to CC these easily. Now, water is the real requirement. As you know, these pyro mages need water to break their shields, and some of these mobs here as well, they will need water to break their shields. Now, one last thing that I want to mention here is when there's a little circle like this around the mobs, this means that these mobs have an aura around them, which can be seen in-game by having like a circle under their feet when they're moving. These are the auras that usually cast annoying stuff. So the fire aura is the one that casts this ball of fire that follows you around and basically kills you all the time, which is the most annoying thing in the game other than the ice prisons. And the Anemo aura is another aura that he has where he sucks you in and basically messes your face up. And if we go basically on the next floor, you'll have here the Cryo Aura. This is the one that casts the Ice Prison. So it is good to know which kind of mobs have those, because there's a lot of them in floor 11 that cast this Ice Prison. And these are the ones you want to get rid of very quickly. Now, the Electro one is basically the one that summons this like triangle of electricity that basically does a lot of damage if you step in it. And that is basically what this floor has. Again, the recommendations here are most likely just because you're going to break the shields with them, and you're going to need them for these shields here as well. So these are very good to have on hand, very important to build your team with. So I hope that you guys can enjoy these and use these when you're building your teams. Now, lastly, we have floor 12. Now, I'm going to make an entire video guide on floor 12 because there's really special strategies in here to enable you to get a lot of stars and beat some of the levels easy. Now, of course, it's a gear check, so you need to be very geared and high level to beat this easily. But there are some tips because it is the hardest floor in the game. So I'm going to go more in depth in the future. But this, again, is a very useful infographic for you to use. Now, moving on to the artifact domains, of course, there's 5 different artifact domains, and it's a lot simpler here. Of course, it will tell you here what the drops are, which are kind of self-explanatory. This is information that is quite easily achievable in-game, but this information is not something you know before you enter the domain, so this comes very, very handy. Now, make sure to note that these are all for AR45, so that means that it is the last version of these domains, so there's no version afterwards, but the versions beforehand, they have different mob types. So this is really only for the late game, harder versions of these domains. Now, in this one, it has a mage of each type, and the fire mage has an aura, which basically means you should probably kill him first, and you get 75% damage bonus with Geo in this domain. And obviously, this is what you should bring because it will break all the shields, and that is what you're going to need for this domain. Next, we have the artifact domain for the Archaic Petra, as well as the Bullied set, which are the Geo sets, of course. And this is telling you what it has. So the wave 1 has one of these Rune Hunters, as well as Helical, and the second wave has these Cryo Mages. Now, it says that you should take Superconduct as well as a bow to stun this guy, which is very good. And here, leave at home means that you should not bring these characters or avoid them if you can, because in this domain specifically, if you cause melt, you will take a lot of damage, and if you cause vaporize, you will take a lot of damage to your characters. So these are the kind of reactions that can mess you up. Now, you can still bring fire characters and stuff in this domain, but then you'll need to be careful for them not to die or bring healers in order to save them. Now, next we have the Hidden Palace of Zhou. Now, this is the domain that drops the fire set, so the Crimson Witch and the Lava Walker. Now, this is one of the worst domains because it does a lot of damage to you when you have overloaded. So obviously you can't really bring fire or electricity characters in here. And if you do, you'll take a lot of damage. You can bring ice, which is very good here, as well as water. Very, very good in this domain as well to break these shields. Now, next we have the Thundering Fury and Thunder Suitor set domain with the electricity stuff. Now, this one, you get bonus damage for overloaded, so you must bring a fire character here for an easier time. But Superconduct will do damage to you, so Cryo could be avoided if you can. Now, lastly, we have the Valley of Remembrance. This domain has all of these enemies out at once. There is a few copies of these. I think there's like 5 of them total. And then there's these 2 guys at the same time. Now, you don't get any malices in here, but you do get 75% damage bonus for physical damage. So if you do have physical damage dealer, this is going to be great for you. Now we're going to go into the last domains, which are for talent ascension materials, so the books, as well as the weapon ascension materials, which are, as you can see, these different items. Now in this one, these are water slimes. It looks like an emo, but this is the actual official graphic for water slime. This is what they look like, so this is the image for them. Now the debuff in this place is a skill cooldown increase, so every time you cast anything, the skill cooldown will be much higher the next time. It's probably one of the most annoying dumb domain in the game right now. It is not really hard, but it is really boring and annoying. Obviously, you can take along any of these elements. Cryo and Electro do very well against water, and Pyro does pretty well as well because it's a vaporize all the time. So you can bring any of these or all of these to have an easier time. And you will see here on Monday and Thursday, you'll get this item. On Tuesday and Friday, you'll get this item. And Wednesday and Saturday, you'll get this. And then on Sunday, it'll drop any of these or all of these at once. Now, the next one is the Hidden Palace of Lianshan. Now, this one has more electricity mobs. Of course, you can see here the first wave and the second wave that will respawn as you kill these guys. Now, this one, energy drains, basically, it will take out your energy when they hit you, and there's an aura around them sometimes that does that, so it is just annoying. You're gonna have your ult, and then the next second, you don't have your ult anymore. You also get damaged from lightning bolts that get casted randomly in here, so it's a high damage place, but if you bring Cryo or Pyro, you'll have a lot of really good ways of dealing with these with Overloaded and Superconduct. Now, for the last 2 ones, we have the books, of course, so we can see here all the books. Again, we're used to it, Monday, Thursday, Tuesday, Friday, Wednesday, Saturday. This is all when they drop, and then on Sunday everything is there. Now this is probably the most hated domain in the entire game, the Forsaken Rift, because of course it's a lot of cryo mobs, which are really annoying, but there's also these falling icicles that deal cryo damage that are absolutely cancer to deal with. If you get hit by one, you can't do anything about it, you just get like stunned forever. It is probably one of the worst and most annoying design in this game. You also have increased stamina consumption, so you really don't have enough stamina to dodge anything. I really recommend bringing a lot of healing and fire characters in here, as well as Electro, which also helps with Superconduct. One of the best characters to bring in this domain is Diona. Her shield resists the icicle like crazy, so if you have her, good for you, or any other shielding characters will be great in this domain. And if you have a Diluc or a Xiangling or Bennett, they do very well in here as well. And now, last but not least, the Taishan Mansion, which has the other books on the same days. Now, these are not too hard. There's only 4 monsters. In this one, you take periodic damage from Pyro, so of course, you just need some healing. If you have a good healer, you can even bring 2 healers if you really need to. You will really not have too much issues here. You can bring any of these elements to deal with it pretty easily. They're basically just tanky and high damage dealers, so dodge well and bring some tanky characters that deal good damage as well as some healers, and you'll do fine in here. So guys, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. Of course, as I said, everything you need about these pictures, the Reddit posts, and the images are available down in the description, as well as on our Discord server if you'd like to come and join and see it in the resource channel. Also, make sure to go and follow Ryden on Reddit or on Twitter if you'd like to have first peek when he uploads new ones, maybe for the other levels of the Abyss, as well as make sure to subscribe to our channel if you like this kind of content. I try and stay on top of all the upcoming news and info that is available for Genshin Impact for future or present. We have character builds for tons of the characters in the game, and we also have daily live streams if you'd like to come chat with us, hang out, ask us questions. We also go on some subs accounts sometimes and optimize or do the Abyss for you to help you out. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you on the next video.